Hip-hop. Probably the most defining music genre in the 21st century, with its catchy beats, cool stylistic phrasing, and some interesting lyrical choices.
See, my little daughter bad as hell and she ain't even 5.
It is easy to argue that it is the most widely regarded and widely spread music genre in the year of our Lord 2025. There are many popular artists who have made their own contributions to the genre, including, but not limited to, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Drake, Half Dollar, Snoop Dogg G, and Q-Tip. That last one wasn't even an intentional joke. However, there is one of them. One man who defined the future of hip-hop and broke the black racial stereotype for rappers at the same time that Tiger Woods was kicking rich white people booty in the third best thing to come out of Scotland, just behind log rolling and the Loch Ness Monster. Eminem. Being nominated for nearly 400 music awards throughout his career in this current time, winning 150 of those, as you can see, his music writing skills and the fun characters that he plays throughout his songs resonated with audiences very well. But before that, back in 2005, before he made some of his top songs today, he dissed another music celebrity with another one of his songs, Just Lose It, and made an enemy that he would regret making. Right? This challenger in the right corner in the boxing ring is none other than the myth, the man, the legend, Michael Jackson. While he did not have as many awards as Eminem, the ones he did have were on average much more accomplished. 13 Grammys, 6 Brit Awards, tens of Billboard Music Awards, 26 American Music Awards, along with multiple world records in music, and the best-selling album of all time, even to this day, with more than 70 million sales. This comes with countless other accomplishments, solidifying him as one of the great musicians and the king of pop. The scale of this music legend's fame is hard to comprehend. For example, during his Super Bowl halftime show in 1993, over 130 million turned in to watch. This was the record for over 20 years until this year's performance by Kendrick Lamar. At your concerts, if you have women literally fainting from excitement when you enter this stage, you know you're kind of a big deal. This level of fame, of course, came with a not so good personal life, like many other celebrity cases. You see, back during his childhood, while he was part of the Jackson 5, a band made up of himself and his 4 brothers, his home life was horrid. His father was extremely abusive towards the children, particularly towards Michael himself, due to him being the lead singer and the face of the now successful band. He would push them to practice for hours on end, ignoring their requests for breaks or days off, which of course impeded and stunted the young Michael's social life. One of his most popular songs, Thriller, is based on this abuse. This leads to a social awkwardness within the man. While he was used to being under the spotlight of the press, his interviews were sometimes awkward with the way he talked and structured his sentences. All of this came to a peak with 3 separate incidents. One, the most light of them, being a tragic, yet sort of amusing, in retrospect, incident. During the filming of a Pepsi commercial, his hair caught on fire due to a falling stage light. Then, the other 2, which are much worse. The accusations against him saying, 1, he used plastic surgery to effectively whitewash himself, and 2, that he had relations with young children. Please note that these are only just accusations, and there is no concrete proof that these last 2 were the case, except the white thing is kind of true. The first one did actually happen though, crazy shit. These incidents are where our story begins, as our protagonist in this case, Eminem, decided to make fun of the difficult situation by making a song in the form of Just Lose It and its music video. Alright, so I have a bit of explaining to do before we get into things. This song was produced and released in the wonderful year of 2004, during a time where Eminem's songs were getting increasingly weird, even by Eminem standards. He was, at the time, fighting a prescription drug addiction, which made him a bit loopy. While he did eventually overcome his addiction, good on him, just know that we are talking about an early 2000s quirked up white boy busting it down sexual style while ODing on Pepto or something. Anyway, the song isn't only making fun of Michael Jackson, it also critiques other fellow celebrity rapper MC Hammer, and makes a joke about Madonna and her spiky bra, and features Pee Wee Herman. Alright, I guess. But if you watch the music video, it is clear who the main target in the spotlight is. To highlight this, I'm going to go over some scenes from the music video and break down the things that are being referenced in those scenes. I will only be able to show clips and images without audio though, to avoid copyright, so keep that in mind while you're watching. So, first off, the video opens up with Michael doing some sick moves down an alleyway with the glow-up tiles from the iconic Billie Jean music video, which is one of my personal favorite songs of all time, by the way. And then, Eminem Pee Wee. Another version of Eminem, I guess, comes on stage in what is definitely a choice of fashion, making fun of the rapper MC Hammer in his over-the-top fashion and great dancing, which many say can rival MJ's legendary dancing. And then, Eminem Santa Claus saying, "Come on little kitties, on my lap," which alludes to some of the allegations he mentions later in the song. To really hammer in this point early, pun intended, the Big M says, "Guess who's back with a brand new rap? And I don't mean rap as in a new case of child molestation accusation only cut off by an imitation of Pee Wee's iconic laugh." Talk about straight to the point. He adds on to this even more by saying he's done touched on everything but little boys, then clarifies it was not a stab at Michael, but just an odd metaphor, whatever that's supposed to mean. The rest of the lyrics in this first verse are kind of weird, I say, as this whole song isn't just a bit odd. This is accompanied by one of the best visual gags / references in the music video though. Michael Jackson bumps into Madonna on stage, who falls into a candle, catching her cone bra thing on fire. And when she turns, Jackson falls into her chest, making his hair catch on fire as well. This alludes to the commercial incident I mentioned earlier, where a falling stage light did actually set Michael's hair ablaze, burning part of his scalp. Moving on, Jackson runs to the nearest bathroom, sticking his head into a toilet to put the flame out. On his way out of the bathroom, he encounters a drunk Slim Shady, who upon seeing him barfs an unreasonable amount due to his intoxicated state. This is over a chorus that partly goes, "It's your chance, yeah boy, shake that ass, whoop, I mean girl, 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 girl." This is a reference to the multiple present rumors that Michael Jackson was gay, which I bet you was at least partially due to the way he talked, which, to be totally honest, does sound a bit gay. He kinda sounds like Herbert from Family Guy, just a bit less old. Other than that, there's no more notable lyrics within the song. I mean, there's this, but I would much rather not talk about that to avoid demonetization and to keep my own sanity. You can look up the music video and the lyrics if you want to. There is a cool reference to Eminem's role in the movie 8 Mile, however, where his character has a fight with a friend for signing him up for a freestyle battle. While the lyrics don't have too much more to offer, boy does the music video. The still drunk Eminem then goes to the bar to try to pick up a girl who punches him in the stomach. Alright lady, you should have just said no before resorting to violence like that. Her punch knocks Eminem into Dre, putting them in a romantic pose. Eminem, seeing him, runs off. I would do the same. This time for the chorus, he has kids dancing to the music, clearly just trying to antagonize MJ. We then see Eminem in a jail cell where he explains the alleged story of how he got there, which is the stuff that shall not be described. Then Eminem finds himself in the middle of an intense rap battle, and the lyrics get tense and serious. This is where that reference to 8 Mile comes up, and where he uses some lyrics. Snap back to reality, oop, there goes gravity, that are from his 2002 hit, Lose Yourself, which is a cool reference considering the similar names of both songs. Also, that song was in 2002? I mean, that was before I was even born, and here I am feeling old and thinking this song was from 2010 or something like that, though I may just be confusing it with another Eminem single. During this breakdown, he makes another out-of-place reference to the Teletubbies, which was a popular kid show back then. At this point, it's clear how high this guy was while writing this song, as no sober man would reference the Teletubbies in a song that is about making fun of an alleged pedophile. Though, on second thought, it is some pretty good dark humor, so I'll let it pass. Eminem's pants fall off, which causes his crowd at the rap battle to be taken aback, though this one dude just keeps vibing like there's no tomorrow. Respect. The lyrics call all women of all races and sizes to come over for a little butt squeezing, while showing Santa Claus getting close with what seems like waitresses from the Lumberjack Hooters clone Twin Peaks. We then cut between 3 scenes of Michael Jackson dancing in a crowd, the guys from the rap battle vibing, and children jumping on Michael Jackson's bed, which is the most direct blow towards the King of Pop in this music video. After some more cuts to the unsightly scenes, Mr. Jackson accidentally punches his own nose off while dancing, making for a horrific sight. This is, of course, making fun of his heavy plastic surgery. I mean, by 2005, he looked indistinguishable from a wax figurine. This joke, South Park would take to an extreme a little later on. As he is on the ground searching for his nose, it gets crushed by the heels of a dancer, leading Michael Jackson to flee to his house, where the music video ends off on him, still noseless, sitting on the end of the same bed where the kids from earlier are still jumping on, right behind him. So yeah, that was the music video. It's definitely a lot to take in with all the dirty jokes and the odd visuals, but at its core, it is criticizing a real problem within society, even if they were just allegations. So, how did Michael Jackson respond? Why did he even respond? Well, he responded because they were allegations. Jackson was trying to defend himself against these allegations, and this song could further the public's already suspicious view of him. He could easily do something like sue off of the base of defamation. Did he do that?
Nope.
Actually, he didn't do anything. There is a myth that after he was quote-unquote dissed, Michael stayed quiet and instead bought the media company that owned Eminem's catalog, thus getting a cut of any of his records that were sold. While this is technically true, it's a dramatization of separate events that just so happened to line up in a way that supported this theory. So, I kinda lied to you. But that's for a good reason. 2, actually. 1, dramatic effect with a special twist ending. And 2, for that viewer retention, baby, going on the YouTube grind. This is your break in the middle of the video where I say, subscribe, and help me get to the point where I can maybe actually make some side money off of this time-consuming hobby. Anyway, you see, this media company, the Sony/ATV media company, was already partially owned by Michael Jackson. To be fair, it was a 50% stake in the company, so while he technically didn't own the whole company, in practice he did have a heavy impact on the executive decision making within. In 2007, nearly 2 full years after Eminem released Just Lose It, this company bought the rights to Eminem's back catalog. While this does seem suspicious at first, remember that this was a good time after the song was released, and that there was no real evidence that this was in response to M. Though that does also mean that there is no evidence that goes against it either. So take of that what you will. Maybe it's just one of life's great mysteries that we were not meant to know. Plus, like Eminem, Michael Jackson was having issues with drug abuse, dying 2 years later on June 25th, 2009, from acute propofol intoxication. May he rest in peace. So, I guess in the end, Eminem did get the last laugh. Though, when looking back on it, he did have sympathy for the king, comparing his death due to drugs to his own struggles with drug addiction. So, I guess we have all learned that once it's all said and done, we look back on even the bad things in life and either come to accept that it happened or see it as an opportunity to learn. Or, that drugs give you the ability to be a multi-millionaire musician. But I would take that thought with a grain of salt. Goodbye.